Hello everyone, and welcome to the 5th installment of Rabid Radicals. Tumblr seems to be a hub for insanity I never thought even existed anywhere on the clear web. I think whatever I've covered so far in this series pales in comparison to what you are about to see. I always thought Tumblr was just a site for one to either blog about their everyday life or voice their outrageous points of view for the world to see, but this takes the cake. When people say that Tumblr is a cesspool of idiocy that caters to the views of the stupid or mentally ill, it is not an exaggeration, nor is it a joke. When I make these videos, I always put the movie preview screen intros in as kind of a joke and also to keep oversensitive idiots out of my DMs, but I think in this case it serves an actual purpose outside of obvious satire. I will warn you one final time. If themes surrounding child exploitation, pedophilia, rape, and the sexualization, manipulation, and targeting of children online is offensive or otherwise bothersome to you, please click away from this video now. For those of you who are here for the long haul, I sincerely thank you. And now, back to our irregularly scheduled program. For everyone who's unsure of these blogs and what they're supposed to be in support of, allow me to define a few keywords associated with the community to help you understand what we're dealing with. MAP, by definition, is an acronym for Minor Attracted Person. What does this mean? It's just another term for someone who sexualizes children under the age of consent. Nomap, by definition, is an acronym for Non-Offending Minor Attracted Person. What does this mean? It is a MAP who supposedly does not act on their sexual impulses. They claim to avoid contact with the minors they are attracted to, so not as to act on their desires. Antis, by this community's definition, are the people who are staunchly against these ideals. Infantophilia, by definition, is a sexual attraction to babies, toddlers, or children under 5 years of age. Pedophilia, by definition, is a sexual attraction to prepubescents, children who have not yet gone through puberty. Hebophilia, by definition, is a sexual attraction to pubescents, children currently going through puberty. Ephebophilia, by definition, is a sexual attraction to post-pubescents, teenagers who have finished puberty but aren't considered adults by law. DDLG, by definition, stands for Daddy Dominant Little Girl. What does this mean? This is a sexual roleplay fetish where the dominant partner plays the part of a parent and the submissive partner plays the part of a child. There is a variant of this for almost every sexuality. Paraphilia, by definition, is a condition characterized by abnormal sexual desires, typically involving extreme or dangerous activities. What does this mean? It means that if you are turned on by unlawful, potentially fatal, or any of the previously mentioned spoilers, you have a psychological issue. Yes, I know that this is a lot to unpack here, but this should give you an idea of what I'm talking about. A lot of you may be wondering, where did this community come from, and why are they on Tumblr? Is this some kind of sick joke? According to some reliable sources, yes. If what I read on subreddit Out of the Loop and subreddit Just Neckbeard Things is to be believed, this community originated as a lolcow scam on 4chan. They devised this as a prank/social experiment to 1. Mess with people on and off of Tumblr, and 2. To see just how many screwed up people on and off the site would out themselves on being in favor of something like this. They even made a recolored pride flag advertising the community to make it sound more believable. As you would expect, many people fell for this, including some very sick people who thought they actually had supporters on their side. Much in the same way as last episode's topic, it was a joke that lost its satirical nature and became an outlet for people to voice and act out their nauseating views. The MAP/NoMap community is now associated with other paraphilia-related blogs and seems to cross over with them quite a bit. Another thing this community wants, along with other paraphilia communities, is a place within the LGBT community, in addition to mainstream acceptance to their desires, the stigma surrounding them to be removed. There are several problems with this outside of the obvious, starting with the obvious. What these sick individuals conveniently leave out when they fawn over sexualizing these things are the effects these crimes against humanity have on those unfortunate enough to fall victim to them and those around said victims. We have seen the effects of kids being kidnapped, violated, and murdered on the families of the victims time and time again. If you've ever watched the news in your life, you've seen how distraught and heartbroken these families are. Being the victim of a pedophile, rapist, or any sex offender in general at any point in time, not just childhood, can mess you up psychologically for life. You lose your trust in others whom you are supposed to trust. You lose your sense of security, your sense of self-worth, and your courage to speak up, which, by the way, is the reason cases of abuse, rape, and pedophilia can go unreported on for years. The people responsible for putting those around them through something like this are monsters in every sense of the word. Their favorite excuses are that these are just fantasies and that they'd never act on these desires. Gee, you know who else has said the same thing? People who have acted on such desires. What makes you any different from them? I'd honestly like to know. What a lot of people either don't know or just casually forget is that actual crimes like this start out as these exact fantasies. Crime itself is a snowball effect that starts out as thoughts and desires like these, which becomes them searching for outlets to get off on. Then they see real-life things that remind them of their outlets, and then they start experimenting with those things, and I think you all know what happens after that. These are sick people that need professional help, and enabling them by supporting their current habits is not good for them, nor is it considerate to the people who have actually fallen victim to any of these horrible things. It's basically an insult to the victims of childhood sexual abuse to even support a person who is actively sexualizing such heinous acts. Say what you want, but there's nothing on earth that can excuse something like this. Speaking of which, let's examine the cop-outs these guys and girls like to use. If you go to look up anything related to this community, you will see memes and posts galore bearing "it's only a fantasy" or "fantasies about blah is okay." Much like the "I didn't know they were under 18" excuse the guys on Dateline like to use and they get confronted by Chris Hansen, this statement is what the community likes to use to try and justify this. Hello, you're posting this on a public website where anyone on Earth with internet access can see it out in the open. That's problem number one. Problem number two should be obvious at this point. These things are considered morally wrong for a reason. I'm pretty sure if they were offered the opportunity to give into this temptation without getting caught, they'd do it in a heartbeat. If they fantasize about it, they are more likely to act on it if they do not get proper help pronto. They are ticking time bombs. Being attracted to beings that cannot give formal consent is not something to be proud of, and revealing your face after you have admitted being sexually attracted to these things only digs your hole deeper. Reading posts from this community may even make you feel sorry for these people and what stigmas they fall under. But newsflash, that's precisely what they want out of you. People like this are good at manipulating others. It's another reason how people who abuse in general can go unreported on for as long as they do. They manipulate their victims into staying silent, be it through making them feel bad about what they're going through, or more commonly, making them feel good about it. This is how they bait people into abusive situations and bait even more people into supporting them. This is a major red flag that people need to be aware of. This is what actual abuse victims go through. I could go on all day about abuser red flags if we had the time. Hell, I'll even make a video series on it if you guys want to see it. But the bottom line is this. Making you feel certain ways is only one of many manipulation tactics an abuser or potential abuser is likely to use on you to get you entangled in their web. While not all maps are pedophiles specifically, they are still people attracted to children under the age of consent, no less. Regardless, this is still illegal. For those of you who haven't binge-watched To Catch a Predator, the group making the online accounts that lure sexual predators into their sting operations often place the ages of their decoys around ages 12 to 16, as that age group is considered to be the most susceptible to being groomed by predators. In fact, FBI statistics show that 50% of victims are between the ages 12 to 15. 89% of these cases start online, as these offenders can catfish their victims by posing as someone a decade or several younger. The reason the decoys posing as kids on To Catch a Predator ask for things to be brought to the Sting House for their meetups is because they're trying to prove intent. A good portion of the guys coming to those stings often did bring what was asked of them. What does that tell you? We are taught from a very young age that stranger danger is a thing for a reason. Yet Nomaps claim they do not associate themselves with children and even claim they go out of their way to avoid acting on their desires. Still, you don't even have to be able to prove their intent. Even possession of child pornography itself is a federal offense. Even tips claiming you have it or are actively distributing it can land you into being investigated, be it by law officials or by curious people online capable of hacking or simple screen capping. It's not like these people can feign ignorance and act like they stumbled upon it. Their posts tell us everything we need to know. If they end up investigated for child pornography for any reason, it will not look good for them. Quick question to everyone watching, what would you do if you found out someone you know is abusing a child this way, or is otherwise attracted to kids under the age of consent, depending on your state or country's laws? Would you A, support them and tell them nothing is wrong with them? B, shop for a mental health professional who is willing to enable them and tell them it's normal or even okay to sexualize kids? C, cease contact with them and never speak to them again, not even so much as allowing your family near them? Or D, report them to the authorities, especially if you know they are in possession of or actively distributing child pornography? If you answered A or B, seek professional help, like real professional help. Pedophilia or any of the other previously defined archetypes I mentioned earlier are not a gender or sexual orientation. They are immoral and depraved activities that are illegal for a reason. I don't care if it happened to you, it's not okay, and you are damn hypocritical for even suggesting that it should be destigmatized or even accepted, especially when you say it to other victims of childhood sexual abuse who are completely against it being done to further generations. To those of you who have suffered something like this and are telling these guys to kill themselves, I can't say I blame you guys because I don't. Not only are you guys still feeling the impact of these experiences, which is why this is illegal, but people are still willing to feign ignorance to condone this disgusting behavior. However, the answer is not to spread hate speech amongst sick people like this. Remember, these are people with actual mental disorders, often beyond repair. Telling them to kill themselves will not solve anything, because once you do that, you have already lost the argument. It will only influence them to either do it, or worse, to act out their desires in harming people in more ways than just molesting minors. Either way, if you want something done about them, don't spread hate speech amongst evil people. Instead, make their behavior known. Expose them for who they really are. Be the ones to bring these creeps to justice. Spread their posts exposing themselves in every place it will receive legal attention, and make sure all the right people get to see it. Mental illnesses or no, nothing excuses what these people are trying to condone and destigmatize. Friendly reminder, this does not give you guys license to witch hunt these people. If you're gonna accuse somebody of something this biblically horrendous, you had better have legitimate proof. If you recognize any of the blogs found or submitted for this video, do not, I repeat, do not send them hate spam or harass them in any way. The only attention they deserve is eyes on them in a courtroom or a prison. Please report them to the authorities. Like I said in the introduction, I cannot believe this video had to be made. I cannot believe this community exists unironically. It's no longer a work of satire, nor is it a work of fiction. If you see one of these blogs, report on site. This kind of crap doesn't belong online. Mods can't do jack unless you bring it to their attention. If you know they have access to or are actively distributing child pornography, report them to cybertipline.org. Possession or distribution of child pornography is a federal offense. I will leave a link to Cybertipline in the description below for everyone who needs it. To everyone as shocked and disgusted as I am at this Tumblr community, thank you for existing. I hope the right people see this video, as I am trying to spread awareness on this topic. This community does not need to exist, nor should it exist in the first place. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you saw and wish to see more like it. I implore you to share this video so people can be aware of this and protect themselves or their loved ones. If you want to follow me on social media, links to the channel's Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr are linked down below for you. If you have suggestions for future videos, feel free to tweet me or leave them on Instagram or Discord. Check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next installment. Stay safe and take care.